And we're live. Emil?
Sorry. Hey, everyone, and welcome. Um, so let's go and do a quick update. There are a few things that come to my mind that are probably worth sharing. We've done a lot of work in the past few weeks on stabilizing a bunch of issues with various components in Jitsi. Um, some of the more notable ones is um, actually, I don't want to steal anyone's thunder. So why don't we do that? Everyone from the team, what would you like to share? Just go ahead and talk about things that you've done that you feel would be of interest here. Damien, would you like to start?
The most noticeable issue that we found the following weeks was a problem on the infrastructure on scaling down. So basically, all the scale down rules were missing an AWS thing where you need to keep the machine alive. So basically, it was not graceful at all for Gcasi and for JVP.
Would you like to maybe talk a little bit about the new silent option?
Yeah, so few new features that I've been working on. The silent one. So basically, if you pass a config parameter in the URL saying start silent, you start silent as input and output. So no mic and no output. This is very useful in places where several devices in the same room connect to the same conference, so they then don't interfere with their mics and output. Uh, that's one thing. And the other one is small thing about notifications, who kicked who, and notifying when you've been muted by the moderator. That's it.
That's something that has come up on more than a few occasions. The ability to know when people have been kicked or silenced by someone. Uh, it also is pretty useful because not only people didn't know who muted them until now, but they also didn't know that they were muted at all. So hopefully this notification would help with that as well. Is Christo here?
Yes, yes.
Christo, you did a couple of fixes. You want to talk about those?
Okay. So, um, what did I do? So basically, I did like maybe three different kind of let's say small fixes. The last one is not merged yet, but it's gonna be merged soon. It's basically we are now going to be displaying the reload screen and reload the conference if there is an offer answer failure of any kind, actually. Uh,
I'd
another,
like to stress on that a little bit because that is a ticket that we believe has been leading to things like audio islands, where some person would be heard by some people but not by others. This has been happening when, say, set remote description would fail in certain cases, and then people would just stay there, but they wouldn't hear some person. Um, so I'm personally quite happy about that one. We should have done it a long time ago, actually.
yeah. Also another maybe interesting fix is that um, now if we are using WebSockets versus data channels, if the WebSocket fails for some reason, we are trying to reconnect it. Uh, yeah, so that should fix probably some data channel WebSocket errors. And I was quite So another like issues that I was working on was some let's say device errors issues or media track issues. So we had a bunch of use cases where, like for example, if the tracks that are returned by get user media are in some weird state, like muted or not alive, we were failing totally get user media and displaying an error message. Also, if we detect some use case like this or some other weird state of a track, we were doing kind of the same thing. So there were quite a few issues that that like put the conference into a little bit weird state. Like for example, you can see an error message that your microphone or camera is not working, but in the same time you can see that they're clearly working. Or the one with the weird state of the tracks right after the get user media. Basically, it was causing a lot of problems because you cannot recover from this state and you need to reload. So so now what is going to happen is that we are just going to show notification with a helpful message. Like for example, if the mic is muted from the system settings, this is one possible cause of the issue. So we are just going to show the notification to remind the user that maybe he needs to check the system settings and unmute the microphone, and everything should work after that. And yeah, I think that's all from me.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm just going to leave the mic open for the rest of the team now. Anyone who would like to add anything here?
I'll just say that with regards to the new bridge, where we have not merged yet, but we're getting closer and closer. We've been trying to track down some BWE issues, and I think both Boris and George have found some good stuff there that that you guys should talk about if you want. But we're gonna be testing and validating that. So hopefully we're getting closer and closer.
Boris is actually traveling right now, so maybe you want to cover his parts, the ones that you had in mind there.
Nothing super specific on Boris's side. He had lots of kind of small little bug fixes and tweaks. I don't know, George, if you want to talk about some of the stuff you found as well.
Yeah, we so in the past couple of weeks we implemented keyframe broadcasting for Octo, which is really important for requesting new keyframes when the bandwidth distribution decision is being taken. We've also been benchmarking the bandwidth, the BWE stuff in the new bridge. We want to compare it with the old bridge and catch any regressions. Just earlier today, I opened the PR and Boris merged it already, fixing what we believe to be the most important problem with BWE in the new bridge. So I think we're in a good spot right now, but we'll keep testing a bit more to build some confidence that everything works at least as good as the old bridge.
Anyone else? Thank you, guys. Anyone else? Lenny did, I don't know if Lenny's here. He did a couple fixes around. So there's been a lot of progress around Spot, actually, which is getting closer to an actual release. But in this specific case, I wanted to mention that Lenny did a fix there around there was an incongruity around how we were doing the deep linking support in Jitsi Meet after the checks for supported browser, and now that's being fixed. So if you are deep linking your Jitsi Meet to a rich client, you would get a better behavior there as well. wondering if I'm missing anything else here. Well, let's draw the line here. Maybe other questions will come up during the open mic part. And let's open the microphone to everyone. Questions and comments from the community.
Hey, this is Paul. How's everybody
Hi, Paul.
doing? How's it going?
We
Hear
you well.
Well, I hear you well too. It's a couple kind of random questions. So first, we started working on a React Native kind of a mobile app that leverages the React Native SDK, and I think one of the issues that we've had is just communicating into. So we use the external API on the front end, the web app front end side, and I guess there isn't really a direct equivalent on the mobile React Native side, and so I'm wondering if anybody has any recommendations there. I do see, so like these, like view delegates specifically on the iOS side for getting events and sort of dynamically kind of by name finding a handler for those events that come in from the native mobile side. But what we're trying to do is we've extended the external API slightly with just a few specific things, mostly related to being able to send a bridge channel message and a few small things like that kind of affect some of the state in the React Native core, and also trigger an XMPP message or something along those lines, or a data channel message or whatever it might be. So yeah, anything we need to know? Is that something? Is there a reason that those methods that there isn't really parity with the external API JS on the native mobile side, or is it just sort of not? They don't have parity because there wasn't a use case, given that the native mobile app is smaller scope in terms of feature set.
Hey there, Paul. Saul here.
Hey.
So, for the most part, I think you hit it, which is we haven't seen the need for everything in external API yet. We have started to extend it at least for joining the conference. So all those options, we have made Jitsi Meet conference options, these objects you need to build before joining.
Yeah.
Both on iOS and Android. We have added a few things lately. But as for methods, we currently only have join and leave, which really don't map to commands. So you can't really learn anything from those.
Right.
It's not impossible that we need stuff like mute and other operations, and then it will become more clear how this will start to look like. In the beginning, I mean, the reason why we started this way was, try to be a little bit defensive with the API, in that let's keep it small and start enlarging when needed, rather than creating something large and then regretting the breadth of it.
Sure.
But I'd be happy to hear about the use cases you have. I already heard at least two. And this would definitely help us also think about the broader, addition of stuff that's missing in the API. You're not the first one to ask. So
Okay.
there's that.
Yeah, I mean, this is an area that we kind of need to implement now. So I mean, we would be happy to kind of contribute back any of the progress that we make in terms of kind of moving towards parity on the quote unquote external API JS side for iOS and Android. I guess the main thing is, if there are any pointers or considerations that we should know about to support that, or practices that we should adhere to.
So
Because I assume,
fortunately, right now is a little bit. There are 3 little universes right now that are not interconnected, and that I personally would like to see them become one, which is the way external API handles commands, the way our current mobile external API handles like the events, and then unreleased yet, but already in master, the Apple Watch application also has some commands, because you can mute the conference from the watch. So we need some unification in that. The web has, I believe there was this concept we introduced for transports. So ideally we would like tap into this and you send a command and the command has some UID. So this way we can tell you when the command completed or didn't. And stuff like that.
okay.
So unfortunately, I can't really tell you, yeah, look at that command and copy paste, change the body, and you have one more command.
Okay, so
I love to, but we're not there yet. There's a little bit of road to be.
Okay, but so what command though are you referring to that we should look at? You mean the Apple Watch command? Is that that would be helpful, just having a model for, aside from the join conference or leave conference. Anything that implements the a command outside of the web use case,
Gotcha.
or just in general, like calls back into React, because I think that's just the area that it's not as obvious what we need to do native wise.
I see. So mostly the way those work are by emitting events. So from native, you can always emit an event that shows up in JavaScript, and then you either implement a native event emitter on iOS, or you use this device event emitter on Android. They're a little bit different on the React Native side of things, but you can look into this on the watch stuff.
Got it. Okay, that's really helpful.
There we have it's only on iOS, of course, but there we have the commands for muting, and Hangup is implemented as a command as well. So
awesome.
You can get a head start on that. And on the Android modules, let me think of one real quick. I think it's a little complex one, but the audio mode module should emit events when the audio device changes to tell JavaScript, hey, something happened, refresh the menu. So you can see how that's done there, but we don't deviate from like the official manual, if you will, which is use the device event emitter, emit an event with a name, and then you can listen to it and then do stuff. So it's always asynchronous, for better or worse. So from native to JS, you emit an event. From JS to native, you call a method. That's usually the convention.
Okay, so that's really helpful. So if we emit an event, it should be picked up from the JavaScript side, and as long as we can. That was the main issue. It's like, how do we bridge that gap? But it just wasn't. It wasn't obvious, or it didn't seem to be a clear example of how to go about doing that. That would kind of be standard. But this is, we'll look at the watch, and we'll look at the device event emitter on Android, and that should help.
Yeah, and if you have further questions on that, feel free to open a discussion topic on this course, and I'll throw you a couple of links to
awesome.
Parts on the code base that do. We have these examples already, and I just need to find one that sort of is the best one to follow, if you will, because, for instance, the audio module is slightly complex, so maybe it's not a great example, but it does that. But also the official documentation on creating native modules for React Native talks about this. So we're not doing something like weird. It's sort of the usual convention.
Got it. Okay, that's great. Yeah, yeah. If you do have any of those links, that would be. I think one of our engineers posted a question on the community forum a few days ago. Yeah, maybe if you have a chance, you could post.
Oh,
If you could post any of those
okay.
links there, that'd be really helpful.
I'll check it out. I've been away and came back, so I sort of marked everything as read and moved on. Try to search for it.
Yeah, understand.
But feel free to also mention
No
it.
worries.
Then I'll get the notification and then I can check it out.
Okay, I'll do that. Great, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yes, hello everyone. It's Hamza here.
Hi, Hamza.
I just have a problem with Jitsi Video Bridge. I don't know if it's a bug or something, but Jitsi Video Bridge cannot listen on ports from 10,001 to 10,004, and that's just weird because it works with 10,005 and other ports. I just want to know if it's a bug. I already had published something on the community forum, but there's no one with the same problem.
Are you sure that nothing's using those ports?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm going to show you, if you don't mind, a quick demonstration. I'm going to share my screen with you. So here we are. Can you see it? So I'm going to change the port. Here's the default port here is 10,004. And I'm going to restart Jitsi Video Bridge. And as you can see here, it says in French that the address is already used. And we can see that there's no service here listening on this port. I tried on 3 different servers and it doesn't work.
This is TCP in the Netstat arguments, right? You have a T, or am I mistaken?
Where? Here?
I mean, no. In the Netstat command that you grab for listening servers, you have specified the TCP argument. So we want to maybe there's
yes,
something else listening for UDP, or you have specified the UDP as well. I don't know. Oh.
No, there's nothing actually here. But it works when I change the port to 10,005.
Can you perhaps check with LSOF? It's a little bit
I'm sorry?
low level. I don't. Can you perhaps check with LSOF?
All right.
I don't remember the command line magic to grab for what's in there, but for UDP, I don't think we use reuse port because it's a bad idea to do. So that's why you should get that error. Should mean something is there.
Something else to check would be, are you able to run anything else on that port successfully? Like Netcat, yeah, are you able to run Netcat on that port and receive something?
Yeah, sure. I tried with Netcat and it works perfectly. It doesn't say that there's something listening on that port. But
Netcat minus U or Netcat just like that?
No, minus U because for UDP.
So that's interesting.
So that's very weird because I tried it on 4 different deployments of Jitsi Video Bridge and it says the same thing. I just want to know if there is another person with the same problem. But here's the issue on the community forum. I'm going to send it here on the chat.
And just to understand, you're saying it works on all other ports. Is there any reason why 10,004 is specifically important to you, or is it just that you're curious why that's happening?
It's actually from 2001 to 2004. And we use these ports for load balancing within our platform, because we use the ports instead of IPs for load balancing. It's a very specific use of Jitsi Video Bridge that we have here. So I think it's very important.
Could it be that the
And
bridge? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Emil, go ahead.
no, you, George, go ahead.
Could it be that the bridge, it's some health check that it's actually the bridge that's using that port? I mean, it's very strange, but well, yes, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's the bridge that is using that port, but it's not mentioned anywhere in the configuration file.
So are you using single port mode, but
Yes,
these ports, is that right? Okay.
exactly. I don't know if you have. You can try it after the conference. If you have a testing platform of Jitsi Video Bridge, you can try to change the port, and just to confirm if you have the same problem or not. That would be great for me, and to check if the problem is related to my deployment or.
Have you tried the Netstat command, or maybe Kaiduan posted another command in the chat to try, but have you tried that one when the bridge is running?
Yes, sure. Well, I'm going to show you. So when I change the port to 10,005, for instance, I restart Jitsi Video Bridge and I put 10,005 here. And here it works here, you see. It says that it works without problem.
Yeah, can you do 10,004 and while the bridge is running, do the Netstat?
10,005, and here it is.
No, sorry. Run the bridge with 10,004 so it fails, and then while that's up, run the Netstat to check what's on 10,004.
All right, so 10,004. Then I restart the Jitsi Video Bridge, right?
Yeah.
Here it is. Well, it says that it's failed. Netstat.
Oh. Okay.
See.
And you still have the. Okay, yeah, you ran in the background. Okay.
That's kind of strange behavior of.
Super strange. I just tried with 10,004 on my local deployment. It's a Mac, so it's not Linux. But I don't see why it would be different on Linux, and it works with 10,004. I just tried.
Oh, so it works for you.
Yeah.
For what is
okay.
Port behaves different in Linux and BSDs. Maybe on BSDs reuse port steals the port. On Linux it fails. So
yeah, because my server is on Debian Stretch.
We don't have the issue. We run on Ubuntu, also run on CentOS.
Okay.
So we can change the port. So
it works with 10,004.
Yeah, we changed the other port, so no issue.
Okay.
So this is very weird. So like Emil said, so can you run other application on 10,004?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I tried it on the server and it works perfectly with Netstat. But maybe it's I'm gonna.
So could it be? I wonder if it could be something a matter of Netcat binding on a specific on a specific address, whereas the bridge trying to bind on : or something like that. So when you were doing Netcat, did you try binding on all available addresses, including : ?
No, I'll do that. I'll do that because I didn't try it. But I just wanted to know if it's a bug or something, but apparently it's not. So I'm gonna try another command on these ports.
Yeah, sorry, these can be really annoying things. I
Yeah,
hope you find a solution.
yeah. Thank you. I'll let you know anyway on the forum.
All right, thanks, Hamza.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Anyone else?
This is Paul again. Just one more quick question on we've started to use Jitsi for SIP, and specifically with Docker and Docker Jitsi Meet. So I was wondering if there are any considerations for natting that we need to be aware of. My understanding is that it shouldn't be a problem. Like if we connect to an external SIP server, then it should just be able to kind of come back in. Or when it comes to Docker, do we need to kind of set up a proxy for SIP, incoming SIP on UDP?
SIP shouldn't be an issue, but you may run into the usual audio one-way audio problems, because when you're in Docker, you will always be somewhat behind that, sort of, or router network, and the IP addresses on the SDP will not match the ones that you're actually going out with. So, so these days, every SIP provider should handle this for you. So even though your SDP is wrong, they will so listen for RTP, latch onto that. But if not, you may need an outbound proxy. And I believe we added a
so I was thinking of. Oh, you did. Which do you know what setting that would be?
No, I mean,
I was thinking of just setting.
Setting that would mean that you can send the traffic to an outbound proxy, and then there you can fix the problem. With, Kamaili open SIPs or something. Rewrite the SDP so it looks the way the others expect.
So is that my understanding? Because I didn't see this. Maybe I missed it in the docs. But so that's what we should use the SIP proxy. There's SIP proxy on and a proxy auto or something like that, and we should basically set that up for Camellia, right? That's the general approach that we should really do, I guess, right? Like I'm just trying to look at in the SIP properties. Yeah, the proxy address, proxy auto config, proxy port. Because right now those are just set to the regular, our regular external SIP server. But that's what we should change to be. Is that kind of how that works? Because I think the server is configured in two places. So is the idea that we set the address and port to be different, and that corrects the SDP?
I don't have the thing in front of me right now. I'm sorry, but have you checked the dev branch? Because some new settings made it, and I remember we had a contributor add some settings in there, and I don't remember if the outbound proxy was set there or not. And something else that could be looked into is but Damian may know, if there's a setting that allows us to set the IP address on the SDP to the one we know, and then if we know it, because we actually sort of need it, is the Docker host address, we could set it to that.
No, there is no such thing.
There is no such thing? Okay, then...
Yeah. So
what I said
by
earlier.
default, yeah, by default, like asterisk here, or the free switch. So you don't need anything else. Just need to configure those to do the not traversal thing, to do latching, and that's enough. The other stuff is if you need something specific.
So you're saying they should automatically just adjust, like they'll basically pick whatever the external IP is by default, and then the NAT will just take over. Is that what you mean?
Could you repeat?
So we shouldn't have to make any adjustments because
Yes.
it will use the
So
external IP.
yeah. So basically, asterisk. I've been testing mostly with asterisk. So asterisk will wait to receive some UDP to start sending. So whatever port and address it sees, it will start sending the media there. So we always make sure that we send few hole punch packets to make the hole in the NAS. So we will start receiving media. So this should be handled by that.
Okay, great.
To be fair, there's nothing else you can do that would work. That's the only thing that could possibly work.
Well, we could. I mean, I guess I was thinking of setting up a Camelio server just to sort of explicitly proxy RTP and SIP, just to sort of explicitly.
But what extra feature would that buy you that doesn't already exist with?
Well, I guess the main thing the main thing that I'm, because the opening the RTP ports, JVB we have running on just port 10,000, which is default. Bundle sort of makes it a little easier, but for since we're running in Docker land, I wanted to come up with like a cleaner solution for the RTP traffic inbound that didn't involve using host network on Docker and just opening up like a ton of UDP ports. So I was thinking of using RTP engine and Camelio to
just to basically make it use a single port like the bridge. That's the goal that you're trying to.
Basically, yeah.
Are you so you know that asterisk doesn't give you that feature?
I didn't think it did, because it sounds like a lot of people are doing between a combination of load balancing in front of a bunch of asterisks, and handling. I think that's probably the main reason people are using Camelio is. But on the Docker side, yeah, like everything I've seen researching this, people seem to be using host network to open up, because you need a ton of ports to open up by default. And that just seems really, and in Kubernetes and Docker land, that just seems like a really bad practice. So having something sort of front that just felt like that would be cleaner, and we can keep that external. You have one thing external.
Well, if you need to load balance between multiple asterisks, then yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound like Camelio plus some sort of RTP proxy would be a bad idea. Even if asterisk can run on a single media port, which I don't know. Damien would know that better. But that's not. I mean, that you need just for the load balancing part, not really for the RTP. Sorry, for the RTP port situation.
Yeah, it's more the yeah.
And
yeah, that would,
for that, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not the best person to talk about SIP hacks and quirks, but I would assume that the entire industry operating on these things would probably have plenty of solutions for load balancing SIP servers, and Camelio was RDP engine sounds like a very, kind of reasonable solution.
You're saying it sounds reasonable or unreasonable?
Yeah. No, it sounds like a very reasonable solution.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if, in fact, I should shut up in case someone else has a better idea, but I don't know if there's something better to do, but this sounds like, yeah, sure, sounds like the thing you would do.
Okay.
So,
good
yeah,
to know.
Sounds good.
But so I guess in terms of there a recent changes on the branch related to, I don't know, something, whether or not I need it, it'd be interesting to check it out. That would be in the Docker Jitsi branch, or is that in the Jitsi branch? Sorry, Docker Jitsi repo or the Jitsi repo?
But wait, sorry, I think I missed something. I'll shut up in case someone else has actually been able to follow through and is able to answer that question. But I don't understand why.
Oh, I think Saul was saying that there were some recent changes on.
This is the Docker repo.
The Docker repo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It may not be relevant, but yeah, I just I figured I'd check it out. And that's on that is in master, or that's on a branch right now.
I think
Not
he was mentioning.
100% sure.
What's that?
Just in case. Check dev just in case. I'm not 100% sure at the moment. I'm
Check dev.
hoping to make dev like release and merge dev into master this week, but I won't promise. So check dev. It's got the latest work is in dev.
Okay. Okay, great. Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. Anybody else? All right, I will stop the stream now and see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.